Just made it, huh? Hi. Hello, everyone. Happy Easter. I had looked for my bunny ears. I couldn't find them. So I'm going to have to be without bunny ears today. Hi, I'm Terri Hardin. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. So excited you're here. Yes, indeed. And I am Disney's legendary Imagineer, Terri Hardin. And don't do that. Every Monday and Friday, I do a live broadcast on YouTube and Facebook. So welcome if you're coming from YouTube. Welcome Facebook. And if you're joining me again today, whoop, 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 whoop. So happy Easter. If you saw the thumbnail, were many of you going, what the heck? Or many of you going, uh-huh. I know this. I don't know what you thought about the Pepsi Peeps drink, but all of us were saying it should be called Peepsy. But Pepsi came up with the idea of giving you the taste of Easter, and they opened it up with, when you think of Easter, what does it taste like? For me, hands down, it's chocolate malt, because my parents knew that my favorite candy was the malted milk balls. And so Easter, besides being he is risen, and we went to Easter Sunday and celebrated the rising of Christ, I mean, you're a kid. You're about that chocolate bunny, aren't you? So I was always looking forward to the chocolate bunny and the malted eggs. Not a Peeps person. I have to say that Peeps, those little funny looking foam marshmallowy bird things that are too sweet for my teeth, just never hit me in the right way. But for many of you, this is what Taste of Easter is to you, Peeps. So Pepsi decided that they were going to show those marvelous cans. I think the thing I love the best about are the pastel Easter egg colors that they did these cans of. But you can't buy it. You can't buy this soda. You have to enter a contest. And the contest is on Instagram, and I believe also on Twitter. I think it's only Instagram and Twitter. You got to use the hashtags hanging with my peeps, and then you got to tag Pepsi as well. So if you just put Peeps Pepsi or Pepsi Peeps, you Google that, guys. I was going to give you the actual hashtag for it, but I did that actually on the Zoom call, but I didn't get a chance to do it for you here, and I apologize for that. But if it's something that you're interested in possibly entering the contest, and basically it's just you and your friends getting together, be sure to read the rules and regulations of what they want, and then you fire off a picture and you post it to your Instagram page or your Twitter page, and you go, hanging with my peeps. Isn't that funny? So, suggestions could be, hanging with my peeps. And no, I won't be entering it because I don't want that soda. But but this may excite you. And if it does, I thought I'd let you know about it, because many of you have abstained from the news because the news has been depressing. It's getting better, I will tell you. But I watch the news, try to keep as current as possible. I'm not real good at it because I feel a lot like many of you do. I kind of like, really, I don't want to do the news again, So, yeah. So honestly, but I do hear about these fun little things every so often. And I'm festive today because I got my vaccine. And I was telling my tribe on Patreon that I'm so excited about it. I was jumping around so much that the nurse said, you need to settle down. I know you're not scared, but I got to stop, because I was like, I was getting the vaccine and I was like, herd immunity, here we come. And I think that's a positive thing. Some of you may be afraid of the vaccine, and I get it. But I'm here to tell you that just like many leaders, the Obamas, everybody has, all of those, I guess, celebrities who have said, I got the shot, look, I didn't film myself getting the shot. I should have, but I got to tell you, I was just thrilled. I was just thrilled. I thanked everybody, all the volunteers. I thanked them as I was driving my car around the corner and getting the shot, and I got my shot. So what happened in California was 50 and above as of April 1st, which was yesterday, could get the vaccine. But here's what happened. Joseph Massey, he's been commenting in here. If you've been there before, he's been commenting in here, bless his heart. And he said, don't listen to that. Just get there early. And just let me check something, because I'm kind of listening for mystery solved. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, good. But anyway, I was so excited that I got it. And my car, what happens is when you drive through in California, I don't know if this happens with you guys, but it was one of those, sites that they have like Dodger Stadium. You've been hearing a lot. If you listen to the news at all, you hear about Dodger Stadium. I did not go to Dodger Stadium. What Joseph said is and my banker said, look for some place that is a little more obscure. And I chose a place in my area that's pretty obscure. And still lots of people are going there, but I got an appointment that fast. And I got it on March 30th. I got it Tuesday. And I'm still wearing my Band-Aid. I've been scrubbing around my Band-Aid because I want to keep my Band-Aid on there. Isn't that weird? It's like the I voted sticker, And my sister, she got it in Hawaii. She actually got the vaccine in Hawaii. Thank you, Jesus. And she's a health risk. She's got a health risk, so she got to do it. And they gave her this cute little smiley sticker, and I was jealous. I was wanting one of those too. I was coveting her sticker. Said like a happy little character dancing. So I'll be the dancing character. You can see, I'm so sad that I got the vaccine and that my husband got it too. So it's the first dose. And I was a little concerned about the first dose, what happens, if they take time, because originally they were doing it 14 days out for the second dose. And my husband's date for the second dose is like 20 days out, longer. It's April 20th, and he got it on March 25th. So for me, it's the 27th. And I think what they're doing is trying to get as many first doses into people, because scientists has determined that if you get the first dose, you're really good. You're about, I'd say 75% there. I think they said something like that. Numbers in me are a little, so don't quote me. Contact your health official. But like I said, I am beside myself with joy and glee because of the fact that I've got the vaccine. So I'm just dancing in the streets, guys. All I can say is that's me. Oh, good, you're still on. Thank you. So as I pour myself a cup of tea and talk to you about the Peeps, yeah, I thought that was just funny, Do you guys know of anything else that people are doing to kind of give you that Easter feel like Pepsi's doing? I don't know. I thought it's cute. It's weird, but it's cute. And I have a friend on my Patreon page that she's so cute. She says, I'm going to do that contest because I like Peeps. So if you like Peeps, I highly suggest that you give yourself a try, enter that contest. What you got to lose? And when you do win that contest and you get those Pepsis, be sure to post it, tag me, okay? Because I'd love to see exactly, I'd love to see those cans in your hands, and I'd love for you to take a taste, and I'd love to hear what you have to say if you liked it or not, right? Yeah. Because this is a little ginger tea from my market, China market. They have a nice little tea. My friend Josie turned me on to that. And then my Herbalife Energy tea. I'm a distributor of Herbalife only because the people in my team, I created a pretty good sized team and a pretty good list of customers who eat Herbalife like I do. So although had I entered it now, I might have just been someone who has the Herbalife. It really works for me. I still stay involved because of people in my group who, it's multi-level marketing, who are actually, there we go. It's cranking at me. There we go. Okay. Who have actually made a business out of it. It's the way they make a living, by helping others find their way to health through Herbalife. So I have to stay on top of it to make sure they're protected, because I built this team. It's only fair that I take care of this team. Most people have migrated over into a new division of Herbalife called the preferred client, which means you can just eat it and be left alone with all that distributor stuff. Because that was me. I really just wanted to take the product and get healthy. But at that time that I did it, which was 2009, you had to be a distributor in order to even order it. So, or know a distributor to order it. And your discounts are pretty lovely. So that was kind of a drag. But then later, Herbalife got called on the carpet and they got their act together. And now many of my people who were distributors have become preferred clients, because all they ever wanted to do was just eat it. They didn't want to go to the meetings and do the Herbalife happy dance and all that sort of stuff. So it's really nice. Now I have a nice little base of people who just eat the product and feel healthy and like it, And then there's many who tried it and it just wasn't for them, They tried it and it didn't work out. And so, but it heightened their awareness of better health. And they went on to do other things like Weight Watchers or food management or Beachbody or whatever you guys are doing. The key is just stay healthy and be good to yourself and your health, right? So everything's a win here. But I happen to love this tea very much. And I love the products very much. They work in my busy lifestyle. I can quickly drink a shake and it's good. Unfortunately, I have to make the shakes. So that's the one, not a downside, but I've supplemented also with these shakes, because these are not Herbalife, but they are already ready-made. So on my broadcast days, if I don't get a chance to make my shake, that's my backup shake, so that I'm not eating. Now, why am I talking to you about this? Is has nothing to do with Easter and Peeps, especially if you're thinking of chocolate and marshmallow Peeps for Easter. This is the last time to be talking about things that make you healthy, right? Unless you're one of those really strong people who is going to be healthy during Easter, which, yeah, that's not happening. I'm going to have a ham or something. I really don't know what we're going to eat yet. We don't know. We don't know. I've been all about this vaccine and getting it done. I've really thought about nothing else. And I'm so glad it's done that I'm wearing my festive Club 33 shirt. And I'm getting ready to go to a taste of Disney. I have not been out and seen any of you in person, except for maybe one person at a time. Little bit for whatever reason. But most of the time I have stayed away from this kind of thing. So this is going to be my first venture out to see you guys on April 8th. And I'm so excited. And I also mentioned that I was very, very excited that the Mars helicopter was supposed to launch on the 8th. And I was torn, because I'm a space squid. I love space. And they've postponed it to the 11th just so I could see it. Isn't that narcissistic? All about me. They did it for me. Yeah, they'd be like, who? Terri Hardin, legendary, imaginary what? Imaginary what? Yeah. Yeah, so the reality of it is they don't know who I am. But I'm still, that's my statement, and I guess gives it to it. I had a mystery, but mystery solve it. This wonderful gift that I got was from my dear friend and Patreon person, Melissa Eiler. Melissa sent me Earth. Oops. Melissa sent me Earth from space. Now, that isn't exactly from, it's in space. See, it's in space. And I'm not taking it out of the bubble wrap yet because I'm not that far, but you can see it. You guys are good at seeing it. But isn't that sweet of her? And it's just so sweet that y'all are you don't have to send me anything. I'm so touched that you joined me on here that I don't need that. But then also, I gotta say a nice shout out to Jennifer Fish. She sent me this adorable little mask. Look at this cute little thing. And it's the Flintstones. Look. Isn't that great? Oh my gosh, I just love it. It's so cute. And it fits me too. And it's got these little, it's very clever. It's got these little loops on it. And then she did send me, well, actually, I guess I have an extender on it. But it's so cute. So I'll probably grab my extender and maybe I'll even wear it today. Yeah, I'll wear it today because I have a meeting. So, but it's cute, huh? That was so sweet of her. Now, Jennifer Fish sent this to me because if those of you who are joining me, you know, you're a regular, not that you're irregular, but you're a regular viewer of my lives, or you pop in at the back end of the lives or watch them later because you have a life or something. Not that those who are watching me now don't have a life, but sometimes a 3-hour broadcast, you just can't imagine yourself sitting there. I know there's some of you out there that go, oh my goodness, she's going to go for 2 or 3 hours. Ah! And I am working on the highlights. I haven't forgotten that. But she sent me this. Jennifer sent me this because you may remember, Jennifer, while we were talking about things we had as young kids, she talked about the Flintstone mugs from McDonald's that looked like they were carved from ice. They're clear and they had a stone texture. And she started to describe it right here during an Ask Me Anything. And I said to her, I think I have that mug because I'm cleaning my garage and I have lots of collectibles. And that's how I said, please send me your dinosaur stories. Your stories about the TV show Dinosaurs, because I want to do a giveaway next Monday. If I don't have enough stories, I may wait and postpone it into the next month, and then I'll just add more stuff. But the idea is to send me via messenger or via email, and let me just pop over to the banners here and show you where you can email me here with your story. I'd love it if you do that, is email me a nice, fun story of how you love dinosaurs, okay? I've got a few, and they're really nice, but I'd like to get a few more. And what I may do is make the giveaway, push the giveaway into April so more of you can enter and add more things. So right now I've got a couple of magazines and some buttons, and maybe what I'll do is on Monday, I'll show you those dinosaur things again, but I'll add some things, okay? So that we can just keep, you know, accumulate, and then I'll do the giveaway maybe that Friday or something like that. Okay. I'm thinking about that because I only have 2 or 3 stories and I'd love to have like at least half a dozen or something. So please just tell me, don't be afraid that your story is not good enough. Just let me know how you love Dinosaurs, the TV show, or about your favorite episode, the TV show. We were talking on this Carver's podcast. We were talking about pumpkins and how wonderful they are because they rot. And one of the shows of dinosaurs is when food goes bad and the food rebels. So if it's something that you like, wow, that's good. If it's something that you really, really, you know, if you enjoy dinosaurs, please email me here and tell me your story. Okay, don't be shy. You know, because if there's 6 people and I have 6 items, y'all getting something. You see what I'm saying? So that could be cool. And also, if you're interested in Patreon, this is where you go to be a part of Terri's tribe. $5 a month is the base level. So not much out of your pocket. But then again, maybe it is, you know. And if it is, I understand. Keep seeing me on YouTube because I will do these public ones. But the tribe gets a private one. And then we also have a Zoom call every Wednesday where we all just sit and chat. And one of the things we chatted about were these Peeps soda. I found out one of my tribe members loves Peeps, so she's going to enter the contest, and I am rooting for her. You know, want her to win. Pa-pa, pa-pa. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to see how, you know, see you win. Hold up that beautiful, you know, because I just love the can color, and it was suggested that maybe they might, if there was enough desire for Peeps flavored soda, they might, you know, issue it so you can purchase it. But right now, you got to win it. And you and the audience are all good. So go there and shoot your best picture. And, you guys know these Twitter and Instagram platforms. I thought to enter it just so I could have the pretty cans and then do a giveaway myself, and maybe I still will. I'm not saying I won't, okay? But I won't be drinking them. But anyway, here's where you can go if you are interested in that. And then for absolutely free, you can go to my website, which is still under construction because my web designer is very busy right now. It will get a whole new facelift, but right now it's got enough that you can sign up, and for your email, you can get some really sweet drawings that I have done for you to color in or for you to change, and you download them and you can make cards out of them, whatever you want to do. Give me a shout out if you use something cool. Show me how you use them. And eventually I'm going to have 2 other things there that you can have if getting a bunch of drawings isn't your thing. But you can go here. It doesn't cost you anything to be a part of my website, and you don't have to worry about being inundated with emails because I barely read my email. I'm going to get better at letting you guys be the first and foremost. We're gonna do a little thing for all you guys that have signed up there as well, stuff like that. But basically, there you go. There's all the information. There's all the excitement. Happy Easter. So today for the AMA, many of you guys may or may not have heard that my dear friend Leo Holzer, about a week ago, I think it was actually the day before last Monday or something, lost his mother. His mother went to collect her wings. And so he's very busy. He may or may not join us today, but he's very busy putting that together, send off for her, an homage for her. And then I also want to do another shout out to my dear friend Ken Hall. Ken Hall has a brother named Cleve, and he lost Cleve, I guess it was a couple days ago, and I've not yet called him because being the brother, I'm sure he's got his things that he has to do. So I wanted to give him a couple of days. But those of you who love monsters and effects and stuff may have remembered the show Monster Maker, and Cleve was the star of that show, him, his wife, and his daughter in Monster Makers. I think it was on Sci-Fi Channel, I don't know, but somewhere, and you can Google it. But he was the monster maker, so he was on that show. I think it ran for at least a season, maybe 2. But these 2 guys and me go way back, so I want to, send my heart out to Ken. And if you knew Cleve Hall, send just a little note to Ken saying, "Man, we're really sorry. Cleve did some good stuff, some not so good stuff, but." Great guy, has a beautiful daughter, and he was very talented. So yeah, so there you go. Thinking about you, Cleve. And in fact, I don't know if I spoke to you about, this is sort of a segue into the Cleve Hall story, but I don't know if I spoke to you about, did I speak to you about getting the little rat willed to me in formaldehyde? Anyway, as an artist and a sculptor, I use a lot of examples. I have a lot of skulls here. I bought them from a reputable company back in New York called Maxilla and Mandible. And that I use those when I'm sculpting something to see the foundation, because the bones are the foundation of the flesh. So it's like a house. If you don't have a good foundation, it's going to crumble to the ground. So whenever I'm sculpting, it's nice to have a dog skull, a cat skull, some sort of skull to go by if I've got it. And Cleve and I became friends over that. Cleve loves snakes. And I did a project for a client, and then that client passed away, and he gave me all kinds. He put me in his will, and in his will, he gave me a material that I use. He had bought a bunch of it, and he felt, I'm going to will this to Terri. So for a while I had that, but then he gave me a little mouse in formaldehyde, and he gave me a white snake in formaldehyde. And I really couldn't keep the snake. And I can't even tell you why. There was nothing wrong with the snake. He was white on white, in formaldehyde, but I just felt that that I wasn't the right recipient for this snake. So I gave it to Cleve. Cleve was a big snake guy, and he's the one that got that. So when I think about Cleve, I think about that time we had that chat about snakes and how much he loved them and how much they were in his life. So I thought he was the perfect person, and I felt my client wouldn't mind if he was looking down from heaven. And he said, "Oh, you're giving it to the best guy who would really respect it and take care of it." So that reminds me of Cleve. And Melissa, if I haven't said it, thank you, Melissa Eiler, for this beautiful picture. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for it. And Jennifer, thank you so much for the mask. You really didn't need to do that. If I can send you something, this is why I encourage the people on my tribe to tell me what they love, because I'm digging through my garage. I have a lot of collectibles, and it doesn't have to be Disney. Okay. As an Imagineer, I receive a lot of really nice, not like gifts like this. I don't give those away. Okay. But I have gotten things from the parks and stuff that are extremely fun. They're just fun. Or I've grabbed them. Okay. So in the treasure chest, which is probably going to happen on Monday, maybe. The treasure chest, well, not even in the treasure chest. I asked my tribe if there's anybody who collects the McDonald's Mulan toys, because I have a set of them, and they're all in bag, mint in bag, and I even have the little McDonald's Happy Meal bucket that they came in back at the time Mulan was released. So I didn't really want to make that a treasure chest gift because I got to watch my postage. But I did say if somebody was interested in getting it, to just give me a shout out on Patreon and I would send it to them. And that's what I do. I said, just let me know. And in the notes of each one of my tribe that is a part of the tribe, I put what they love. So one of the tribe members, Greg Greason, he likes the Universal Monsters. So if I come across Universal Monsters, I'll go, oh, Greg, my friend Holly Mack, she told me a wonderful story about how much she loves Nightmare Before Christmas. And she told me about a watch that she got. You remember McDonald's put out those watches of Nightmare Before Christmas? Do you remember those at all? If you don't, they really are lovely. And she said she wore it until it practically fell off. And then one day her mom threw it away, probably thinking it was time. And any of you who collect know that's a nightmare that you don't want to relive, is having someone who loves you throw out the collectibles because they don't know. This Babe Ruth ball can't be worth anything, you know. Or your baseball cards or something. Maybe that's why everything is going digital, so your parents can't do that, or your loved ones can't think that it's not worth you keeping. In any case, it was thrown away, and as a little child, she was very sad. And she said, and I came across not only this watch that I had collected, but the set. So I secretly sent her the set, and she was very shocked when she got the whole set, which she had never had as a little kid, but now as an adult, she has them. So she actually tinkered with the watch and tried to get it to work. I told her she could probably take it to a watchman and he'd do his best to make it work so she could wear it. But so that's how this is how this all started. And then, like I said before, Jennifer had talked about this Flintstone cup, and I went through my collectibles, and there it was. So I sent her a picture and I said, "Is this it?" And she said, "Yeah, that's it." So I sent it to her. So you never know. You never know. And Jennifer is not a part of my tribe, but I certainly hope she will join us at some point, because she's a lovely, lovely person, as you all are. And I'd love for you to come and join the tribe. It's a great place to talk. It's a private Facebook, so it's not public. So you can talk about things that are close to your heart that you really don't want going out into the world necessarily. And we don't talk about creepy stuff, but we do touch on a few things that are a bit personal to each of us, and that it's a great group, and we help each other with art. And I don't know. Let me see. Let me just see if I can show you something really quickly. I got a new iPad, so I'm still, yes, that's another story I'll tell you about. I got a new iPad Pro. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. But I finally invested in that for my business. But let me show you my final painting. So I think I might have showed this on Monday to y'all, but I'll show it to you again. This is my very first self-portrait, but it's also my very first painting of any kind in acrylics, with the exception of a quick class I took with Janny G, and I painted a picture of my dog. But this was a really high-end, I'm saying the wrong words. This is a result of a course that I took where I really buckled down to learn acrylics. I'm not good with acrylics. I love the feeling I got from Janny's class, because it was free and fun, and we used recycled materials, and we created this little thing on a little. It was wonderful. It was joyful. It was so enlightening. And this one was work. This one was focused tight and really working to make it look like it. Like when I sculpt for you guys, when I'm creating my sculptures. Let me just go to, like I said, I'm still learning my iPad, but luckily with Apple, things cross over, and I love them for that. That's why I'm an Apple person, because I just don't want to relearn stuff. I just don't want to relearn stuff. Don't make me relearn stuff. But I wanted to show you here, if you look at my sculptures, which I think I showed those as well. There we go. I wanted to show you the finished. This takes a lot of detail, okay? This takes a lot of, wait, let's bring me down to the bottom here. A lot of, where you're just, you get in close and you go, I got to do those micro teeth, and I got to make them look cool, I got to make them look really cool. And so that he will eventually end up looking like, where is he? Let me go back to all the pictures, because I can never, he ends up looking like this. They end up looking like this, and they illuminate, because I get down in there and so that's what this painting was like. Okay, this painting was all about, you do one eye and then you radiate out, and your whole body is kind of like this. And I have to say, as a teacher, I want to eventually teach a painting course along with a puppet course. If I like painting, I want to show you how to do it with my brain, okay? I have a different brain than everybody else. If you're new, you'll soon figure this out. But my brain says, this is great if you want to be this accurate, right? But what if you just want to play to paint? Okay, the way Janny teaches. Get a picture, get a feel, play, explore, enjoy, because you're not looking to get a book cover right now. You're not looking for your painting to necessarily be in a museum right now. You just want to learn to paint, to sculpt, to draw like you, not like anybody else, okay? So this is one of the problems that I if I'm teaching a class live on drawing, I don't ask you to draw the same thing. And the reason I don't do that is because you look over your shoulder and you look at each other and you say, boy, his Mickey Mouse is better than my Mickey Mouse. Why am I even starting? And that is the speak inside your head I don't want you to ever have to worry about. And it's all based on my pumpkin sculpting. You bring a design, I help you achieve it, you feel happy, you do it over, right? And that's the goal. So when you're looking for a class to learn something, I suggest, if you just want to experience it for the joy of experiencing it, find a teacher who's just going to take you through your journey, not theirs, okay? Now, later on, if you decide you want to be a professional painter, paint for a living, sketch for a living, sculpt for a living, puppeteers for a living, then you can get into more of the details, right? But if you just want to entertain, or just want to have fun, or find something that you do that's different from what your normal life is, then I don't want you to worry about things like calipers, Many sculptors and many artists will tell you, in the face, the eye is one eye apart from each other. Pull out your calipers and measure, make sure. That's a lot of magma you don't need as an artist. I mean, I'm sure in the beginning, people like Picasso, Degas, Van Gogh, all probably did some of that training, okay? But if you put these people together, okay, you look at these masters, you can see that Picasso, come on, did Picasso really worry about the eyes being this far apart if he did a figure? No. Salvador Dali, absolutely no, right? And yet we love their work. Hieronymus Bosch, maybe a little bit in the beginning, but you look at his paintings, nope, 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 nope. Okay, so what I'm saying is, in the beginning, explore to see, swim in the medium, not literally, but get into that area where you can see if you even like it. And that's what I did with this. Hold on a second. That's what I did with this stuff. Okay, that's what I did with my painting. Is that there we go. That's what I did with this painting right here, is I simply, honestly explored if I even like it, because my husband bought me these paints that are very expensive, and you don't want them sitting on a shelf not doing anything. Spent a few $100s on those paints and they're becoming a lawn ornament. No, you don't want that to happen. So this is what I'm excited about. But this right here is not the end all. I'm very happy it looks like me. I chose a self-portrait because I didn't want to be the person going, it doesn't look like me. I didn't want to put anybody on that. I didn't want to pressure myself that much, right? But it does look like me. It has my energy, which makes me very happy. The dreadlocks look like dreadlocks. That's a big win for me, because the teacher who was teaching me, she is a white girl and she has white girl hair. And I'm not telling you that's a bad thing, but if you have white girl hair, that hair that looks the same dry as it does wet, that doesn't happen to me until I had dreadlocks. So I'm sure this teacher had no idea how to give me advice on how to paint dreadlocks. But the cool thing is that she had taught me a couple of lessons on light and dark, and that's where I started. And now it looks like dreadlocks and it looks like me. And I'm just like, it's my first painting. And I'm excited, but I didn't do calipers. I didn't do all of that junk. I just painted and had fun. And I highly advise you to do that. It's like those wine and paint classes that they give you, where you get together with your friends and you have a glass of wine and you paint something. I think it's flowers or something, or your dog or something. I think these are adorable classes. I think these are wonderful classes. So I'm just saying, don't let that stop you. You can't be you can't be Rembrandt in a night, and you can't be Michelangelo in a day. It takes practice. And first you got to see if you even like it first. Okay. When I first started with acrylics, I hated them. I could not paint with them. They were awful. They dried too fast. I didn't have the patience for it. And I didn't have the patience for a two-dimensional surface. Okay. As a sculptor, I like to sculpt what I see. So if I want to sculpt the back, I simply turn the figure around and sculpt the back. You follow me? If I want to do it the side, I turn and sculpt the side. Sculpt the other side. You get me? So that being said, people who draw, some people say it's great because I don't have to draw the back. But the point is you've got to fit a three-dimensional object in a two-dimensional space, better known as your paper, your canvas, your whatever. And I used to say that is so challenging, isn't it? So honestly, and now my mindset was, during the pandemic, try something new. You've been hearing me like a broken record say, try something new, try something new, try something new, try something new. So I said I should lead from the front, and guess what? Try something new. So I'm painting. And I'm so excited because I'm getting ready to do another one, and I can't make up my mind. I have these little pods of photos that I want to do. I would like to paint a dragon. I would like to paint an angel. I would like to paint, And I've got a couple other teachers that I really like. In fact, there's this one teacher that I'm really looking forward to taking from. He's online and he teaches the fundamentals of acrylics. So he's going to help me to understand this medium that dries so fast, why it dries so fast, and why it's a bit challenging. Okay. Some people just paint fast, but that's not going to be me because I'm a beginner. So if I want the best results out of acrylic paint, what do? You find someone who can teach you and make sure they're present, because my last teacher, she didn't even show up in the class. I think once she showed up and on virtual class. Can you imagine being a beginner and you're having trouble and the teacher just doesn't ever answer? I think she answered twice, like a couple people. So that's not cool. You know, I want to do video courses that you can take whenever you want and actually own it. I've noticed a lot of artists do this, but I have to be present as a teacher. If I'm going to walk you through it, I want you to be able to access me, maybe through I don't know if it'd be a Facebook group, because me and the Facebook groups, it's good. I love the tribe, but I don't know if I can have multitudes of Facebook groups. But I may just give them an email and say, email me or message me. And if you're having trouble, you know, or post it, you know, you could post your question in the comments. This teacher just never answered, left it up to the students. And I don't know about you, but when I pay for a class, I don't want to hear from the students. I mean, I don't know who they are. Okay, I've been looking at the history of the teacher. So if you're thinking of doing a video course that you get some passive income, for example, this is something that needs to be thought about. Okay, you got to think about being present in your class. You can't just post up the videos that you've done so beautifully executed and then no way to reach. You got to have a support system, and many do. Many do. There's this wonderful guy that I found online on YouTube that does YouTube training. I haven't got to see him a lot because I've been all about the vaccine and getting the ghosts out, honestly. But I've been saving his videos whenever he does it, and I'll go back in and train some more. But he's been just great, and he has a support. You know, if you connect with him in certain ways and take a course from him, all you have to do is write his support team. And if it's something they can't answer, they kick it up to him. And every once in a while, he'll pop in and say, hey, you're doing great. Or I saw your channel and here's a couple things I suggest. That's all. That's all. Be present. That's it. You know, so you can't just, it will not run itself. It won't, because your students need to at least have you pop in, say beginning, middle, and end of a course, and let them know if it's one of those video courses. Some don't need that, but some do, you know. And I like, they could say I could use more basics, and then you can shoot a few videos that say, okay, here's a set of basics, how to sew a puppet. You know, what can you do with a puppet if you don't sew? You see, so those are some classes coming up with my puppet stuff, but I got to shoot them first, and I may shoot them live and then record them. I don't know. Right now, for the better half of this year, I am focused on getting these hitchhiking ghosts out, and they are definitely a job. And it's not a job I don't like, but like I said before, you know, did you see the launch of I guess it was the 11th rocket from Elon Musk, and you saw how it went? Yeah, part of me had a little trouble with that, but my husband says it's par for the course. But I was kind of like, really? Aren't they millions of dollars? Eee! But I guess Elon Musk is just like, okay, back to the drawing board. Let's go for number 12. And I'm so proud of them that they're doing that. But it did make me think about my ghosts, because my hitchhiking ghosts were really a project. I had to make sure that they were separate, because that's what you asked for. I had to make sure that it was a AAA battery, not one of those disc batteries. I've mentioned this, but I'm going to say it again. The disc battery is a pain to me. I never have one when I want one. Those nickel-sized batteries, it just drive me crazy. But the AAA, everybody has AAA around the house. So I really was on a mission to make the batteries that power the illuminating ghosts AAA. And they had to illuminate. They had to look like ghosts on your shelf, not just light up like not just light up like a nightlight. Okay, many of you had bought the Hallmark hitchhiking ghosts. They're all together. This is what a lot of the collectors have said. They're all together, and they look like they have acid reflux. I learned some things. Making them individual is challenging. Lighting them individually is challenging. But that doesn't mean that I didn't want to do it. So here they are on my shelf. And look, guys, how they look like they are specters. They are little specters that appear on your shelf. And this has a top light that I have turned on in my cabinet. But when you turn it off, it's even more so. So let me just find that picture. Here it is. Well, I could have just gone over and showed it to you. But look here how they illuminate. Now, unfortunately, they're a little hot in this camera because my camera couldn't do what my eye sees. But trust me, they are lovely. They are so, so lovely. And this one I'm very proud of because you see, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if it'll allow me to go bigger. Can you see how through the handbag you see the leg like you would an actual specter, spirit, ghost? This is why this took me 2 years to create. And I absolutely thought of Elon as he shot up that last rocket and it boom, you know. I call it Rocket Ship XM because it looks like rocket ships I used to watch as a kid in things like Thunderbirds or Go and all those kind of Puppetoon things and all the kind of science fiction things I read about and saw. And I just love that rocket ship. I just love the design. I can't help but think Elon Musk had a similar childhood because he's really made it look like Rocket Ship XM to me. And so whenever it blows up, I go, poor Rocket Ship XM. Poor Rocket Ship XM. My husband looks at me and goes, poor Rocket Ship XM. So, but I feel for him because it's billions of dollars and they show the debris everywhere and you're just like, oh. But then I remember my ghosts and some of the challenges I have and the lineage of art proofs it went through to get to where I wanted to go. And then something magical happened out of that. Out of all of that, what happened was that all of a sudden we got from difficulty rises a blessing of an idea, and that idea turned out to be the blacklight ghosts. These blacklight ghosts are the same sculptures from my brain, but they're an external lighting source, a blacklight. So they really are fun as well, and they're half the price of the illuminating ghost. They're half the investment. So you get this opportunity to have them. Look how good they look without the black light. And then as you can see from Professor Phineas, that they take on a different thing with the black light. And I include 2 black lights in the box. So you can invest in these if the illuminating ones are a bit too much. They don't fit your budget to adopt them. And so that's the thing with these. It just makes me all happy. So I just flash on all of that, as an artist. You're striving for stuff. And who knows, if I start painting, that's another opportunity. But a lot of people have said, man, my walls are full. But if we come full circle to the point I was trying to make is don't stress too hard on making it exactly the training that you have. Try to allow yourself to come through and appreciate yourself and your design ability. Who knows? You might be another Picasso. You might be another Dali. Who knows? If you just let yourself explore your style. This is my first attempt, and I wanted it to be as close to what the teacher did, which it's nowhere near. It is nowhere near her work. But I realized a style of mine was creeping through, and I just ran with it. So now I want to take a teacher who paints the entire painting and pulls it all in at the same time, instead of doing an eye and a nose and a mouth and kind of walking across it like that. He's suggesting you step back and do the whole thing and bring the whole thing home. And I think that's going to be fun. It feels more like this, which is something I don't do because I do small stuff. So it's, you know what I mean? I tend to do it more in pumpkin sculpting. I rough out the whole pumpkin design, make sure it fits everywhere, and then I take each one. But yeah, it's there's 2 different styles. Will I think that's cool? Maybe I'll even try a palette knife painting. So you just play. Just play. You know, you're home, you're by yourself. Who's going to see unless you show it? I mean, who even knew I was painting till I told you, right? Okay. So happy Easter. We are now at the just about an hour mark. So I'm going to say happy Easter to you. And no, I'm not leaving. I'm going over to the comments and we'll start the Ask Me Anything portion today. Leo, as I said, is a little busy today. And so I did not get a list of questions, but that's okay, because if you have a question, please post it in the comments and I will answer it as we go. If you don't have a question, I'll make something up maybe based on what you say. So let's go over and say hello to all of you today. Hi again, Tamara. Always good to see you, my love. Cheryl Sawyer says, happy Easter. I'm back in the office again, so I can't listen as much anymore. But thankfully, today is a holiday. Yes, it is, isn't it? Good Friday. Isn't that lovely? Yes, and today is a holiday and I'm able to watch. Well, welcome, Cheryl. I'm so glad you're here. And of course, you know that you can always go to YouTube and watch past shows and listen to them in sections, you know, little bite, little bites, little bites. You don't have to watch the entire 3-hour show. And you can fast forward through it if you want to, and I'll never know. Your episodes of Pixie Dust Fan Podcast were a huge hit, by the way. Thank you. Thank you very much. Pixie Dust Fan Podcast is another podcast that I did. They're lovely people. They're wonderful people. And I had a great time. I had been wanting to do work on their podcast for a while, but life gets crazy, doesn't it? And now that we're sitting home with the pandemic, I said, run, don't walk, and enjoy. So it's kind of it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. And I have one called, I'll tell you about it on Monday. It's one where the woman sketches while she interviews people, and it's really a great podcast. Wow, she's had some heavy hitters on there, so I'm in really good company. So, yeah, so, you know, if you're someone who's looking for interviews, we're all home. Angie, hello. Happy Good Friday. Happy Easter. Bonnie, good morning. Yes, thank you. You know, Bonnie, that I was really stressing over not getting this vaccine. Boy, I did want it because, you know, I really wanted my husband to get it. But now that we both have it, we're doing the happy dance. And as I said before, Bonnie, I can't take the Band-Aid off. I've been washing around it because I'm keeping the Band-Aid, you know, like the I voted sticker. You know. It's still written on my car. I'm going to have to erase it, you know, come April. I'm going to have to erase it off my car so that they don't give me the first dose again. They got to give me the second dose. So, yeah, so it was cool. Melissa Eiler, thank you so much. Just got out of Rite Aid with my Fauci ouchie. Oh, isn't that cute? And you went to a Rite Aid. How fun. That's the thing, guys. More and more places are going to open up, make it easier for you to get that vaccine. So Fauci ouchie, I love that. That's really fun. Isn't he a great guy? Dr. Fauci is just adorable, isn't he? And a real advocate for our health. I just love the man. I think he's really cool. And thank you, Melissa. Thank you for that lovely Earth from Space. That is so kind of you to do that. I'm so touched. And I really want to thank you for that. Very, very kind of you. Andy says, so excited. Glad you got the waiting on mine, but my 19-year-old is an essential worker and got hers today. Don't you just want to dance, Angie, when somebody who is putting themselves out there in and could get it because of the consistent interaction with other people, you just go, whoop, 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 and then you get a gift. Okay, so my husband is a producer and a cameraman and a editor, and he does all this stuff for NBC Television, Comcast, Universal, and he works for their promo division. And he would much rather go in the office because he's got his tools in his office. And it's been touch and go because of the pandemic. And but he's someone who likes to go there. And I think I mentioned that because he has a little challenge hearing, he'll go around the partition to hear the room producer better, because it's a team. They work as a team. And the room producer isn't right next to him, but I still, if you've got that partition up, that's up there for a reason. So Terri gets a little worried. So like Angie is talking about her 19-year-old, I feel the same way. It was my husband who's high risk. So I was really having trouble. I always said, just be careful, please. And remember, wipe down the area. People are getting, they're kind of slipping on their cleaning, and please. And he just goes, but I love having it at home. And yesterday he came home to tell me that he's going to be working from home for several weeks. I know he doesn't like it, but I am so excited. I am. I really am. So I feel for you, Angie. I'm very excited that your 19-year-old is getting it. You'll be getting yours soon. They're talking about, and Angie, let me say to you what Joseph Massey said, which is keep checking the vaccine site, coronavirus.org. You can find it and click on eligibility and keep clicking on it every day. Take a look, because I got my 50 and above vaccine on March 30th, and they weren't supposed to be available to April 1st. Thank you, Joseph Massey, because I got it on Tuesday. And by April 1st, they were saying you may not get to get it because the vaccines still aren't coming to California like we'd like. So I got it. And I also found out, and you may have heard, but I talked to the nurse. My one question was, how long can I delay the second dose? And she said up to 6 weeks. So I said, yay. It's just good information if they keep delaying us because they're not getting the vaccine and they want to get that first dose in everybody. Yes. Because it makes it 75% effective according to science. So they're really kind of giving priority to the first dose people. So if I have to be pushed back, I want to know how far I have to be pushed back. Okay. Right now I'm pushed back by 20. Let's see. I got it on the 30th. So 22 days I'm pushed back, right? No. 1st to the 26th. So, put 7 into that, and it's almost, it's over 3 weeks. So I can delay 3 more weeks, basically. That's what I'm doing. The math. Help me, math. But there you go. That's the kind of interesting thing, is you now can do a little things because it may be pushed back, and I want to make sure that it's not pushed back so far that I got to do this again. I'm not one to do stuff again. So I'm very excited for you as well, and your 19-year-old. Thank you. Happy Friday, Shellboy. Happy Good Friday and happy Easter. I'm hoping my friends, colleagues in Canada are able to get there soon. Cases are worse now than what it has been last year, says Bonnie. Vaccine rollout has been slow for them. And I know how painful this is, Bonnie, how challenging this is for you and for everybody. I just think this is something that honestly is a real drag. And here in California, places like Texas have opened it up for everybody for several weeks now. And I'm so excited that California feels like they can do that soon by the middle of the month. But like I say, if you live in California or wherever you live, if they're telling you your age group is going to be happening at a certain time, check before that, because a lot of people wait till the day. And this is what Joseph told me right here on my broadcast. And that's how I got my husband vaccinated. Thank you, Joseph. So honestly, just keep checking every day because it'll pop up. Mine popped up on Monday. They said 50 and above, you can start making your appointments. And I thought maybe my appointments would be after the 1st, but no, I got it Tuesday, the 30th. So I was really happy. You can see I was just a joyful little bug. Happy little dancing bug. That was me. Yesterday was my 2 weeks, so I'm 100% officially vaccinated. Congratulations, Jay. What are you going to do as a fully vaccinated person? Have you had any ideas what you'd like to do? Because they've said vaccinated people have a little more freedom, don't they? Can't go out and be crazy. Can't walk around with no mask and say hi to someone you don't know. But you can start to interact with no mask in certain small groups, and that's pretty exciting. I can't wait. I'm going to tell you. It's very exciting. Me too. I agree. Those Pepsi and Peeps sound gross to me. Yeah, me too. Kraft had the pink mac and cheese for Valentine's. Oh my God, are you kidding? Oh my goodness. Did you try those, Angie? Why does that not sound tasty to me? Why does that just creep me out? And it's probably just food coloring. But it's that mind, you know? Mac and cheese is not supposed to be pink. What's going on there? So, mac and cheese is not supposed to be pink. I think that would creep me out too. Yes, indeed. There was April Fool's prank between Peeps and Green Giant about the veggie beep. Ah! How funny is that? Oh my gosh. What was the vegetable? What would taste good with Pepsi and vegetable? I guess corn, because corn syrup, right? So it could be, Pepsi green corn or something. I don't know. Wow. Wow, crazy, huh? These Pepsi Peeps are, I'm serious. What interested me was the color of the cans. I just thought the cans were so cute. But that's about as far as it goes. I'm with Angie on that. I don't want to taste it. No. It's kind of like, and some of you guys are going to say, wow, those are really good though, is a deep fried Twinkie or deep fried Snickers. Oh, no, 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 stop, murder police. No. You eat it, tell me how it is. I can't even imagine. I think my teeth would right there go, or run to the back of my mouth. So there's just some things I just can't try, guys. I just cannot. Bob Bernine says, yes, we are forever grateful to you, Terry. Herbalife helped with my arthritis. I've lost over 100 pounds. I recommend Herbalife. Yeah, they love it. It's their thing. When it fits you, it fits you. The key to the right lock, right? When it fits, it fits. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And I never take it personal. Some people will go, ugh, Herbalife, yuck. But I think a lot of times some people will go, yuck, fill in the blank because it's multi-level marketing, yeah? Building teams, ascending to great wealth. Yeah, you don't have to buy into all of that, honestly. You can if you want, and it really does work. It's not a pyramid scheme. The FTC, Federal Trade Commission, saw to that. But it is work. It's a lot of work. But if you are, I have a friend who's swimming in those waters and she's excellent at it. She's got a heart of gold. She loves helping people get healthy. This is her mission in life. This is her love in life. So many of these people are like that. And so it fits, it's the right key to the right lock. And so for those people, yay for you. I liked it a bit and then realized that it's not to be, it's not my destiny, but I do need to be healthy to achieve what's on the agenda for me. So it's the thing that I like. Yes, indeed. Bob says, we've been part of Terry's Herbalife team for over 10 years. We are still customers, and a few of my Disney friends use it also. What's really lovely about it is if you can't eat, I still have to be able to make the shakes, and the shakes don't take long to make. I just haven't been able to do it for these broadcasts. My timing has been off, but I will eventually do it. And they're delicious. You can put banana in there. You can put fruit in there. Just some fun stuff. It's a great low calorie, high calorie nutrition shake. So like Bob says, it works for him and Rose and his family and some of the people they've chatted with. So it's all good, man. Haha, Peep soda doesn't sound the most yummy, but I'll eat a Peep on its own. Well, Bonnie, if you like the Peeps, I highly suggest you check out this contest, okay? Win some of those cans, take a taste, and let us know since you're a Peepster. Because I'm not. I can't even go near it. I've got a book that I'm working on And it's put on the shelf, this one book that I'm working on, because my photographer, which is my husband, just got tired of shooting food, but it's all my designer cookies that I do for my family. I've been designing cookies for people that I care about and close family members ever since I was 9. So I accumulated all those recipes and put them together in a book, and I baked them, and my husband was shooting the pictures, but he got tired of it. And so we put it aside, because you really don't want to push someone to take pictures if they're not interested. Now, I could possibly hire a food photographer. That's might be something fun to do, but I've got to research that and look into that. If there's a food photographer out there that wanted to do it, maybe I would hire them and do that, and the book would get done. But the point is that one of the favorite cookies there is Melanie and Sam Sizzlers, and they're named after my sister and brother-in-law. And they love mole. So it's a brownie based on mole. That's all I'm going to say. And it's a brownie with a kick. But I can't eat it because I can't have spices. So when I was designing this cookie, my husband was the taster. So that's kind of what I'm talking about with this Peeps soda. I don't see myself ever doing it, but I'd love for you as a Peepster, all you Peepsters out there, enter that contest, Hanging with My Peeps, hashtag Hanging with My Peeps, and go to Pepsi.com and, or Google Peeps Pepsi, and it'll tell you how to enter the contest. Okay. I think it'd be a lot of fun for you if you're someone who the Peeps. And like I said, I thought maybe I'd do it just so I had them so I could do a giveaway, if I won. Should I win, then because the person who doesn't like Peeps, they usually will win, right? So I thought I'd kick those out there and give them to somebody who was curious about having them, But I think you should do it. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and I think it's a great little contest. It's cute, and those cans are really pretty. So nice and Easter festive. They did a great job on their design, and I wanted to just say, good job. Hi, Deanna. Good morning. Yes, indeed. Yes. Chad. Hello, Chad Harkins. How are you? Happy Easter. They're showing some episodes of one of your old shows on YouTube. Which one would that be? I got several. I'm not bragging, okay? But the other day, a friend of mine called me and said he had seen me on a show. Have you heard of the show Renegade? Think. And if your answer is yes, I did an episode of Renegade back in the old days. And that was so old that my residual check was about 7 cents. 7 pennies, okay? And it cost more for them to put a stamp on the envelope and mail me a check and then make the check. The checks are more expensive than the 7 cents. But the other day I got a residual check, a royalty check, if you will, for $15, and I knew something had changed. And they had dug up this show. And a friend of mine from Texas said, Terri, I was watching Renegade, and guess who I saw in the credits? Now, the show episode is called The Maltese Indian, and I am the voice of the parrot. So you will not see me, but you will hear me as the voice of the parrot. I did the whole show as the voice of the parrot years ago. But that's what I'm talking about. These shows are being dug up, just like Chad Arkin says. Dinosaurs popped up on Disney Plus, and I never thought I'd see the light of day. I was happy with the DVDs that I have, but that popped up, and now I'm writing to Disney Plus and asking them if they'll show Captain EO. Not because I'm in it, but because I love it. I love Captain EO, and I think there's a lot of people out there that love Captain EO, and it'd be nice to see it. And if you're not a big fan of Captain EO, you just pass through it like I do a lot of the Marvel stuff. No offense, Marvelites, but there's a lot of Marvel shows I just swing right past. Like Age of Ultron. Or the first Star Wars movies, the Phantom Menace and so on. But I digress. I stop on The Mandalorian. I love it. I watch Soul. I love it. When Raya and the Dragon comes out and I can get it, not pay $30, I am going to be watching it because I'm excited. I heard a lot of you loved it. So I'm excited to see it. I don't want to pay $30 extra to see it. I'll just wait. I pay the monthly fee, actually yearly fee on Disney Plus, and so I'll wait. But there's a lot of cool stuff and a lot of old shows. Muppets! Jim Henson's Muppets. Are you not excited to be able to see that As a kid, I grew up on it. It's what made me love gym, made a lot of us love gym. So I'm excited about the resurrection of a lot of these, but I just had to laugh when they dug up Renegade. I mean, come on. So if you've seen that, so basically what Chad says, if they've done that, let me know which one. Hi, Bobby. Great to see you. Happy Easter. Hello, happy Easter, May. Thank you, May. You are very sweet. You are so kind to say that. Those of you who've paid have been very gracious in giving me your critiques, and I appreciate that. Cheryl says it turned out so well. Excited that I was able to get a glimpse at the finished piece after hearing about you talk about it those weeks ago. Yeah, I keep pulling it up. I mean, I stare at it a lot because I'm really happy with it. 2 dimensions was a challenge for me. And what I want to do for you guys is show you, I drew 2-dimensionally a lot when I was a kid. I actually drew portraits of people. So as a drawer, as an illustrator, if I do say so myself, I was pretty good. But painting, that eluded me. You know, it's one thing to take an image and paint it with watercolors, like, painting inside the lines, but this is a whole different thing. Yeah, this is a whole different deal. And the idea that I pulled it from A to Z is an accomplishment that makes me feel really good. I tried something new. But I would be happy if it didn't work out. I'd try again. I'd keep trying again, but I probably would try again on the same subject. And I have something that's really burning. Okay, so as you grow and as you want to do things that are your own art, I have this piece, this thing I want to do that is very personal to me. And I think it will make an amazing sculpture or painting, or both. So I want to get to the point to where I feel like I know this medium pretty good that I can attempt that painting. And I'll do it once. If I don't like it, I'll do it again, and I'll do it again, and I'll do it again until I get there. And I'll share it with a couple of artists I fully respect in their art to help me pull it into where it needs to be, And I'm so excited because it's very personal to Terri. A self-portrait is very personal, and portraits of people can be personal to them. But I think when art strikes you deeply, personally, it radiates from the painting and you feel good about it. There's certain paintings that when I look at what painters have done that really speak to me stronger than others. And I think it's because it somehow, I'm hoping, is a personal piece to them. It's really, really personal. Like, I hope I didn't get the picture, but there's a picture that I unfortunately don't own the painting. But I have the what do you call it? One of the prints, or it might even just be a poster. It might not even be a print. You can always tell because there's a pencil, a pencil, the artist will put, if it's an actual print that they've generated, they'll put, the number on one side, and then they'll take a slash and they'll say of how many. So 1 of 200, 10 of 200, etc. And this is a photo. It is a painting. I think it's a watercolor, maybe. I don't think it's an acrylic, of a dog sleeping on the bed. And it's called Waiting for Master or something. It's just so precious. The dog is fast asleep on the bed, and there's a window out over the dog. And it's just so beautiful. And it just feels very like the artist who painted it. It was very personal. This dog meant something to him or her, or means something to him or her. It just really resonated strongly with me, the feeling. So that's the striving that I'm going, is I want you to feel the paint, my art, as well as see my art. I hope that makes sense. I want you to look at it and it creates a feeling, right? So when you look at the painting, when you take a look at the painting, then there's some things that I was really striving for besides it looking like me. I wanted you to feel my energy. I wanted you to feel my intensity. And I wanted you to feel the joy, sort of it's not like me getting all crazy joy, but the sort of internal happiness that is my life. So I really feel that I've hit these points, which is probably one of the reasons I really love this piece. And when my husband looks at it, he knows it doesn't look exactly like me, but I'm really striving for what does it feel like. And I think it really feels like I wanted to achieve. So I'm very proud of it. In that respect, I feel I nailed the feelings. And a lot of people, when I was taking the class, all virtual, a lot of my peers wrote, wow, this looks like really kind fairy godmother. I was probably the oldest in the class, most likely. Maybe not, but I just was going for a feeling more than a likeness. There are a lot of portraits out there that seem kind of shallow, like there's no soul. And if you feel like it doesn't really move you, let's say it's of you and you're not moved by it, right? There's something that just doesn't click. It could be that it just doesn't seem to capture your soul. Maybe they were more about the likeness and less about the feeling. So that's what I'm going for. And that's what I go for in my sculptures. My sculptures really, I want my sculptures when I do my stuff for you to feel good about them. When you look at Stitch and you look at Groot, which both of those sold out pretty quickly, people just fall in love with them because of how they feel. Yeah, they're accurate in their look too, but it's the feeling. They love how it makes them feel. And that's what I really strive for as an artist. And I think it's a good thing to do. You can agree or disagree with me, but thank you. I worked really hard for that, Connie, because I'm a big Rembrandt fan. I love Rembrandt very, very much. And the reason I'm thinking about the palette knife is I also like Van Gogh. I love his self-portrait. And he does it with these little lines. And I don't know if he ever used a palette, even with his sunflowers. It looks like he used a palette knife. That's a little scary because now you're using something that mixes paints. And now you're painting. And I've looked at people on YouTube do it, and they're absolutely there's a couple that are on there that just blow me away. And I'm like, ooh, you get a little scared. When you're getting a little scared and you're getting a little squeamish, that's something you should do. You really should go for it. What's the worst that can happen? And the nice thing, what they keep telling me in these acrylic paints is you can always paint over it. That's what Janny always says. That's what Ron Kubala always says. You can paint over it. Don't worry about it. You can paint over it. You don't like it, let it dry. Paint over it. And I kind of like that they're so, hey, and they're both brilliant artists. There's so many brilliant artists on the Patreon page, and they're so supportive of you as you work your way towards whatever level you're at and whatever you're trying to achieve. Man, they're right there for you. And it's so great. This is why I love it so much. And here's Janny. There she is. There's Janny right there. Janny G. See, I'm talking about her all the time. Here she is. And you really, I want to be like as a painter, if I'm going to paint, I want you to be able to step back. Okay. Everybody as an artist has a goal. Okay, their goal. What is their goal? So in the case of my teacher that taught me, her goal is when you step back, I'm thinking of this. She never spoke with me. So disclaimer, but she stepped back and she wants you to not be able to tell the photograph from the painting. She wants to be that accurate that from the back, you can't tell which is the photograph. Okay. I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. Okay, for me, I want the painting to look like a painting. Okay, that's the first thing I said. I like what your goal is, but it can't be my goal. Not in my head and my heart. My goal is to be more like Janny, more like Ron, more like Chris. When you step back and you see their art, there is absolutely no doubt who it is, who it belongs to. I don't care where you are. You could have hundreds of paintings, hundreds of different artists. I'm always going to know a Janny G. Okay. And that's what I want for me. I want you to be able to step back, look at my art and go, Terri Hardin, like you do with my sculptures. People can put those sculptures on their shelf and they go, that's a Terri Hardin. I know it. I know that's a Terri Hardin. Isn't that a Terri Hardin? And that's what I'm striving for. That's what I keep pushing in my sculpture. That's what I keep pushing in all of, and in painting, that's the direction I want to go. I'm not there yet, but I just started. So I'm not worried about it, but I am going to try all these different methods. So I tried the, get in close and method where I'm going from an eye and then I go to another eye and then I do the nose and then I do the mouth and then I do the head and then I do the hair. Sort of kind of like I draw actually. But now I'm going to try one where it's the whole painting and I bring it all in. I bring it all in together. And someone is holding my hand because I'm scared. Nervous. I'm nervous. Okay. But like they say, paint over it if you don't like it. So isn't that a nice little, as they call it, chicken exit? If it gets to where you don't like it, yay, let's start over. So that's what's so cool about it, but you want to step back and you want to look. If you're trying something new, and it doesn't have to be painting, it doesn't have to be drawing, it doesn't have to be, but if you've always dreamed about a bucket list thing, I want to learn to what? I'll tell you about my best friend. My best friend had always wanted to crochet. She loved what she saw from crochet, but she wasn't a yarn crochet gal. She liked the little doilies you make out of thread. You've seen them, guys. They're insane and wonderful, crazy. She wanted so bad, this is years ago actually, wanted so bad to be able to crochet doilies, but there was one challenge she had. She was left-handed and all of the teachers were right-handed. And every teacher that she went to that tried to teach her just couldn't teach a lefty how to do what the right-handy was doing. It was something that was not making the connect. So one day we're sitting together having a coffee or a tea or whatever we were having, and she tells me this. And I said, I'll teach you. And she said, oh, I don't want to waste your time, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I got this. Let's get that thread and we'll make a date and I'll teach you. And she said, okay. And you know what I did? I faced her. Okay. You remember that exercise you used to do if you ever did it, where you played the mirror so the person was doing? So that's what I did. I faced her. And I said, because her left hand's going to be there, right? Just duplicate what I'm doing. And I showed her. And you know what? She learned. And to this day, she's crocheting doilies everywhere. But no other teacher taught her that way. I have to remember my brain works differently than most. I am a unicorn and I just got to own it. And if you're a unicorn, you need to own it too. Okay? Own it. Love it. You're special in this world and you've been put on the planet to help others. I just have to look because something about some of these people. Anyway, but yes, so that was the joy of getting with Janny G. She wanted to be an instructor. I brought her down to be on one of my retreats. She taught us all. It was so much fun. So many people. And one of the people she hated helped was my dear friend Greta Jantz, who was a little bit at a point in her painting. She had painted for a while, but there was something in her painting she felt here, and here that was missing. And once she worked with Janny, her paintings just took on a whole new light, a whole different perspective. And she was so excited. So that's what I'm saying. The right teacher can just make your life wonderful no matter what it is you want to do. Okay? There's a fellow, I wish I could remember his name, that takes Legos and builds Legos. But he does Lego. He uses Legos in a different way. He builds movie sets with the Legos, not big ones that you have, but little miniatures of the movie sets using Lego. Isn't that fun? Loves Lego, but he didn't want to he didn't want to be confined by the Lego Starship for $1 million. He just wanted to take Legos and create his own art from Legos. And he actually goes as far as opening them up so he can play with them. And the scale is to the little men. Isn't that fun? So the world is your oyster, guys. This is what I'm telling you. The world is yours. Why? Because you're a human being. So if in the back of your mind, you just want to try that one thing, you can. And social media has the people cheering you on because it could explode, The girl who was a food designer taking cutouts of the celebrities and then making their gowns from the carpets out of food. They're beautiful. Next thing you know, she's all over the news. I don't know if you want to be all over the news, but the point is you never know where this is going to lead you, what thread it's going to take you to, right? So for me, it helped me to realize that I'm not the terrible acrylic painter I was when I was 7, 8, 12. Few years since I was 12, and maybe I've learned something in the way I look, in the way I think, the way I look at stuff, the way I think of stuff, the way I perceive stuff. And the answer is, with that self-portrait, yes. So I'm just fired up to move forward, and I want to thank Janny and all of the painters who were there cheering me on. Okay, Shelby asks, how long have you known Bruce Lanoil? A very long time. I was rewatching Looney Tunes Back in Action and realized that not only he worked on the film, but also the voice of Pepe Le Pew in the film. Yeah, Bruce is a rock star, isn't he? Oh my goodness, guys, we go way back into time. There was some sort of series where there was a rabbit in the basement, and that was my friend Alan Troutman. So Alan, there's the Brat Pack that you hear about, the Dean Martin, the Frank Sinatra, those guys, the Ocean 11 or whatever, the Ocean 8, 7, whatever it was first. That's me and Bruce Lanoil and Alan Troutman and Kevin Carlson and Van Snowden and I'm trying to think of who else. Pat Brymer. How can I forget Pat Brymer? Shame. Sorry, Pat. You were the Brat Pack. In any case, we were these people that sort of satellited around back in the day, and you could audition 100 puppeteers, and it would always go to this same group. Okay, so you had an audition, then you had a callback, then you had the last callback, and the last callback was always this group of puppeteers. Same group all the time. One or two might have gotten in there, but most of the time it was us. And that was me and Bruce Lanoil. Okay, Bruce Lanoil and I, Pat Brymer, and others worked for a guy named Dave Pavlonis who sculpts these beautiful puppets out of foam that look like them, kind of like you've seen. What was that show? My best friend did that too, where they did political figures and they looked just like them. These were foam sculpted too to look just like them. In any case, Bruce and I did this show, and before that, we auditioned for a training with the amazing Tony Urbano and others, and he and I and Alan and Kevin and people like that all trained with people like June Foray for voice work, with Harvey, was it Limbeck for comedy? And it was under the roof of Sid and Marty Krofft. You remember them? Lidsville and Sigmund the Sea Monster fame. We knew those two fellas very well. And we worked with them on occasion, and that's where we all met as young people, young people. We were all together, and we trained there, and then we did shows one after the other, and Greg Williams, and so Bruce and I go way back. I've known Bruce so long that Bruce and I, he fell in love. He had a girlfriend. Her name was Lara. And I met Laura as the girlfriend. I met Laura as Bruce realized she was the woman of his dreams. I knew Laura when he proposed. I knew them when they got married. I knew them when Laura was pregnant with their first child, and then Nikki was born. Basically, a long time. And Bruce and I have done a lot of things together. Let me just get to my albums, and I will show you what I mean. So just give me a minute here as I work my new iPad. I haven't even scratched the surface on this baby, but I have the opportunity to train with somebody who really knows their stuff. So I'm looking for here we go. Here we go. But I want the picture of Bruce and his. There we go. Okay. So I moved to Burbank. Here's a Bruce story for you, Shelby. I moved to the city of Burbank and I fell in love with the city of Burbank. I love the city of Burbank. I love the people. I love everything about it. It's a little tough being a business owner here, but if you've got what it takes to be a business owner here, it's the best place to own a business, in my opinion. With the exception of Tin Horn Flats, which is being a real jerk. But anyway, I digress. And I wanted to do something. The city of Burbank enveloped me at a time. They embraced me. They were hometown. I love hometown. I know my neighbors, and everybody is just so sweet and generous. I mean, I can't say enough. Okay, I love it. And I wanted to do something, and the lady next door was a big fan, Shelby, of. She was a part of the Rose Float. Burbank's community builds their Rose Float for the Pasadena Tournament of Roses every year, and they've been doing it forever. And so I was asked in 1995, my neighbor, Martha, who has long since passed, and she's got her wings. Martha came to me because she saw a light glowing from my boyfriend's home, now my home. And she said, "What is she doing in there? The light is so bright and goes so late." And he said, "She's sculpting because she has her family over at her house." We had two houses on the same place, about a mile apart. And my cousin had surgery, so I let him stay there with my father. My father came and watched over him. And I just stayed with my boyfriend, who is now my husband. And she said, "Well, she sculpts." He said, "Yeah, she's an Imagineer for Disney." And she said, "Oh my gosh, would she be interested in sculpting a dog for our Rose Float?" I went down, I met everybody, I fell in love with everybody. And after I sculpted this dog, they said, "Would you do a design?" And I designed, I know it was a long way, Shelby, so just hang with me. I designed the 1996 Tournament of Roses float known as Dream Flight, about, you guessed it, a dragon. And why does this have anything to do with the amazing Bruce Lanoil? So here it is on the boulevard. This is actually the trophy that the city of Burbank won. At that time, it was the first big award they had won in some time, and it was all my fault. Yay! But here is Bruce Lanoil and his lovely little boy, Nicky. Now, the reason I've got this picture here is because it was little 3-year-old Nicky that gave me the idea to create this amazing Dream Flight dragon. So I told Bruce this. Bruce and I were working on a movie called Theodore Rex with Whoopi Goldberg at the time. And honestly, it's not that great of a movie, so you don't really need to think about it. It was also the year when Kermit the Frog was the ambassador. So you talk about full circle and being with the Muppets and all that cool stuff. But here it is. You'll see on this trophy like this. And then as I'm standing in front of it here, and I'm trying to see if I have another, I don't. But that's too bad. But it's, let's just use this one. And here you can see kind of in the mist, this little boy with a dog on his back. And that little boy is Nicky. It's a portrait of Nicky. It's a portrait of Bruce's son, Nicky. I used Nicky as my model. So that's one of the reasons Bruce is down there. He's brought Nicky to see his big self down there. Nicky is now in his 20s. So that kind of gives you an idea how long Bruce and I have known each other. Laura had just had her adoring and wonderful daughter. She was in the stroller still. And they came down to see this. So you can see Nicky's chin up in the top up here. But you can see it looks just like him. Yeah. And I didn't sculpt it. I got to say, I didn't sculpt it. I brought sculptors together. I do that a lot. I bring people who want to learn it, put them on projects of mine, obviously before the pandemic, and said, "You want to learn it? I'll teach you how to do it," because I know how to do it. And they got to see their float go down the boulevard. You know, the people who sculpted this got to see their float go down the boulevard. Yeah, isn't that exciting? So you learn. So Bruce's father did the feet of the dragon, so he was very excited to see the feet go down the boulevard, and the face was done by my best friend, and we had to get special. We had to ask for a special permission to make the wings bigger because usually the float has a criteria for how wide it's going to be. But it's all animated. It's one of the first really beautifully animated floats that they did. And it blew different colored smokes. And so for the 1996 Tournament of Roses, it won an award. It won the Imagination Award, Fantasy Award, something like that. Time flies when you're having fun. And so this is how close Bruce and I are and continue to be. It's a lovely question. Thank you, Shelby, for asking it. Because he always is, and they always will be my I'm very close to them. He's very, very sweet. In fact, it was Bruce Lanoyle who suggested that I get on the latest Muppet Show, and they agreed, and I came and worked on that. So Bruce has always we've always watched over each other and taken care of each other. We're friends to the end, and he's a part of the tribe. So if you want to be in the tribe, he's busy because he works a lot, not that I don't work a lot, but he pops in when he can, because he's got beautiful kids, and the kids are having kids, and he's got stuff he's involved in, and he's good, as you know. He's quite a genius. I just bought my first 3D printer. I'm both excited and nervous, preparing for a challenge and looking forward to the results. Well, this is a good time to buy a 3D printer because they've really come a long way. I had one at the very beginning and I hated it, but I'm not going to tell you that story. I'm going to tell you the story of how many people you have that can help you get this right, okay? If YouTube doesn't help and you need some one-on-one time with someone who knows 3D printing, let me know. I'll put you in touch with my client. I have a client that has what happens is people have 5 of them for different reasons. Well, he's one of those people, and he loves 3D printing. So if you need any help, Cheryl, a little hand holding, you let me know and I'll put you in touch with it. Just message me and I'll put you in touch with my client. Bob Burdine says the tribe is great. Took me a couple of years to join, but I'm very happy with my membership. We all try to help give positives to each other, and as a result, we are mutual friends. We are a gang, not a bad gang. We're a good gang. We're the happy gang. And we're all talking about, once this pandemic is over, is getting together, trying to assemble wherever I go. If people can all assemble at Disneyland, whoop, whoop, or Downtown Disney, oh yeah. But just the idea of being able to get together so that we can hug each other and really talk like people and have a real party. I've told them all I'd love to have them, wherever we can get together and do it, and get together and do stuff. Maybe we'll get together and sketch, or we'll get together and talk about what our passions are, or our bucket list, or it's just cool. It's just cool. It's a great place to be. And your voice is very much appreciated. Your voice would be a lovely addition. Any of you. You may think it's not, but it is. And it's an amazing thing. Amazing thing. And here he is, Joseph Massey. Or is it Machi? Anyway, he's amazing. You are amazing, Joseph. Thanks to you, I got my vaccine on March 30th. 2 days before April 1st when they told me I could get it. And they told people yesterday they may not be able to get it just because it opened up on the 1st, and I already had it because of you. So I'm really super excited about that, as you can tell. I don't really need to tell you I'm super excited because you can kind of see it. But I want to thank you for that. You helped me with my husband by making me realize you don't wait for people. You start looking. And I looked on Monday. They had made the shift to 50 and above. I thought they would give me an appointment sometime after the 1st or 2nd. And instead, they gave it to me for Tuesday the 30th. So I have my little Band-Aid on my arm. And I'm feeling very powerful. and empowered. And that's all because of you, my friend. And I want to thank you for that. And then, yeah, I just want to thank you for that. It's been a wonderful change in my spirit. I didn't realize the weight I was under not having got that vaccine. And now it's just lifted off my body, and that's your fault, buddy. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you so much. I was such a tigger when I got it. I just loved it. I sent you my something that I tried something new. Oh, Deanna, you did. Did I read it though? I hope you message me because I'll get there. I'll tell you, I've really been obsessed with my manufacturer and the ghosts. So my apologies, Deanna, if I haven't read it yet. I intend to. I've just been one of those people that's just a little bit behind the curve because of this vaccine thing. Richard Barnes says, at some point, can you talk about the filming process of dinosaurs? How long did it take to film an average episode? Ooh, that's a good question. Why don't we break this down? Because we got time. It's only 11. I'm going to have to get off on a hard 12 today because I've got to go get my hair redone. I can actually say that out loud because beauty parlors are open. Whoop, 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 whoop. So I'm going to get my hair done today, and I have to be there at 1. So I'm going to have to stop at 12 to get myself together. But Richard, I can explain this to you. First of all, an episode, Disney, when we first started dinosaurs way back in the beginning, wanted the episodes to take 5 days. Okay. This was their goal. The first episode took 10 days. And they blamed the director, William Deere, who is an amazing director, by the way. But they blamed him. They said it was his fault. It wasn't his fault. When you do a first series or episode under any circumstances, it could go a little longer because the actors are finding their feet. The performers are finding their feet, trying to figure it out. The producers are trying to figure out what the show is going to be like. Everybody's got their paws in it when they maybe shouldn't have. But the point is that you got a lot of people sort of throwing in their ideas, trying to figure out. We started with smoke on the set. Thank God that changed because we were all in respirators because the smoke was really bad for us. And it was really hard for us to perform that first show in a respirator because they wanted the atmosphere to be smoky. But thank God for Bob Collins, who was our cinematographer, who said, you're really wasting it. The puppeteers are not being able to fully do what they need to do because of this smoke. And you can't wear a respirator if you are a performer inside the suit. And this wearing the suits as a dinosaur body suit performer is taxing. These guys are rock stars, okay? Your Leif Tildens, your Misha Sistis, all of these people, Tony Prince, Bill Beretta, all of these people in these suits. It is work to move around that big giant dinosaur. And they couldn't wear a respirator to protect him from the smoke, and the smoke was a problem. So Bob Collins proved to the producers he could create the effect in camera. And then we had no smoke on the set. Yay! That happened. That whole thing in there happened in that first 10 days, in fact, the first couple of episodes, okay? So there was that to deal with, Richard. And then there was another challenge that they had with dinosaurs. They knew that they would have to build the set 4 feet off the ground for puppeteers like myself, okay? Because if you build that, that's optimum. That is a Jim Henson thing. Jim Henson says if you build it 4 feet off the ground, you have room for the puppeteers to maneuver, hold the puppet over their head, put down their monitors so they can see what the camera sees, etc., etc. But what they hadn't necessarily planned for was dino tails. Dinosaurs have tails. This became a challenge. It would have been lovely if they had little bobtails, but they didn't. Most puppeteers, if they have a tail, most puppets, if they have a tail, it's not a problem. It's puppeteers. If you get to see the behind the scenes of something like the Muppets or even Puzzle Place, which I worked very much on, you'll see that if you watch the people below, it's very entertaining, but it's hard for you to do because the action is happening above. This is a magic ability of a puppeteer. But now you've got the suit performers. They had figured out where they were going to put the puppeteers who did all of the face articulation, okay? The big one boxes, as they were called, which had the programming inside, had a joystick, and a Waldo to work the mouth, right? So let me see if I can even find a picture. If I can find a picture, I'll show it to you. If I will show it to you if I've got it, okay? If I can find it, I will show you what I'm talking about. Because visual aids are great, right? So I'll do my best. It will be a Country Bears photo. Here it is. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There we go, guys. I'm going to hide your comment for a minute, Richard, but you can see down here in the corner, this is the system. This is more sophisticated than we had on dinosaurs, but you'll notice my left hand is around a joystick, and my right hand that is extended out a bit is in what's called a Waldo, allowing me to, I'm trying to figure out where I can put my picture. Anyway, I'll come back and show you. There is a keyboard there. I can punch in stuff to reprogram if I want to. There's 2 monitors. My script is hanging in the middle so I can do my lines because I do the mouth articulation. Let me come back to me. I do the mouth articulation. So the Waldo records all of my things electronically. It's like you can hardwire, like send a cord like you would hardwire your computer, or you could do airwaves like Wi-Fi. None of that was available. But the point is that you have the radio control signals where the radio has a certain signal, and as long as you didn't have a plane fly over or you weren't in the middle of a bunch of other radio signals, they would work just fine, okay? But sometimes you had to hardwire them because they would react if there was too much activity going with other radio controlled objects in the area, or when the entire family was there. So now you have a tail and you have a cord to deal with. Yowzer. Yeah. So this first episode was about ironing out kinks, not because Bill Deere was not an excellent director, because he is, but they, sometimes they were like, why is it taking so long? Well, it's his fault, even though there was everybody putting their little paws in it. But there were things we had to deal with, things we had to overcome, things we had to work with. And one of them were tails. Walking around the table, walking around the baby's high chair, walking to the refrigerator, walking to where Fran cooks. There's a tail attached to them all the time. So the way, we'll put your comment back up, Richard, the way it works is that the suit performer would be in the bottom half of the character, which was the legs and the tail. And they could have a robe on over if they were cold, or they could just they had a body harness as well. And they didn't have the head with the microphone in it or any of that. They would block that all out first, figure out where they're going to go. And then we would suit them all up with the top half and use the mouths open in order for the character to be able to see through the mouth, because their only line of sight is through the mouth. Okay. So they had to work with us as a team. We couldn't keep the mouth closed all the time because they needed to see, but we had to work out how to make the mouths work so that didn't look weird. You couldn't just have it open all the time. They would have looked terrible, right? So that's one of the things that we rehearsed together. So if you take a look at Trixie, I did the Country Bears as well. Here is Peter, the director, working and talking to her, and she's talking. The mouth is left open so that she can communicate with the director. So there's Trixie Bear, and the mouth is at rest position so that she can communicate. We're all together on a headset so we can communicate. But in order for her to do things like the song, and she needs to see the microphone, I had to make sure the mouth is open so she could spot that microphone. And in the beginning, it was, she grabs it, right? And when we practiced, you see, I would go, and in that, she knew to reach out and grab it. And if you watch that movie and you know that person cannot see and they're grabbing that microphone, that song is one of my best achievements, me and Denise. We worked very hard with Julianne Busher, who played Tennessee along with Jody. And the four of us worked really hard because we didn't want some silly montage of them leaping through a field. All four of us had decided we could really make you feel in this scene. And we worked really hard as a team of four puppeteers to make it happen. And they kept it. And they actually said they felt it. And we are very proud of that in Country Bears. So in Dinosaurs, it's a similar thing, except for that you've got a family of 5. Now, Baby's a puppet, so not quite so difficult, but still difficult, okay? But when you've got suit performers moving around and they've got to relate to each other and they can't trip over each other, and you got to make sure, you see what I mean? Now watch Dinosaurs with that in mind, okay? And understand that they have to have these rock star staminas. They really do. Many of the actors who portrayed these dinosaur characters did the Ninja Turtles. Misha, who did Charlene, was Michelangelo. Leif Tilden, I think, was Donatello, maybe? But many of them had done the Ninja Turtles, so they were already, pretty strong. And then Bill Barreto was new to suit performing, but Bill worked very hard because he was a friend of Brian Enson's. And the problem with being a friend of someone like Brian, not because it's Brian, but Brian's mother, she kept saying, stop hiring your Finns, hire people who are qualified. But Bill was qualified. Brian wasn't hiring a buddy he wanted to go drinking with. He was hiring the best guy he thought was for the character. And Bill really had to work hard to prove himself because Jane thought this was a mistake in the beginning. Then she saw how good he was, and it's hard to think of anybody else doing that character. In fact, you just can't. So there's that. So that's kind of the process. And I could go on and on seriously about how this show works and what it takes to do different things. Okay. One of the toughest ones for me was when Baby eats too much sugar and there's a sequence where he spins and I get motion sickness. So I was on a spinning device with Brian, and I had to figure out a way that I could periodically close my eyes so I didn't have a real bad situation in a scene that was very important for me to perform. So every person just brought on their game face and our desire to make this work, and that's how we were able to go 5 full seasons. I'm so proud of the show, and I'm so happy to have been a part of the show. My favorite episode. Ooh, that's a tough one. There are so many that I love, love, love. But one of my favorite, because it was a little challenging to do, was the one where Baby gets angry at the little creature that steals his cookies and he blows up the wall and he crawls to find out he's going to get that little creature that's been stealing him. And then he realizes that he comes to realize a button at the end that makes Baby realize that maybe he was a little bit too harsh with that character. And I love that sequence. I think that's a lot of fun. And the reason is because Kevin Clash, the baby weighed 70 pounds. So Kevin Clash had to hold him up and make him do this while I had some mechanical arms. I was behind Kevin and I did this motion and it made the baby do this. So, and we were hunkered down in a tunnel making that happen. So I liked it because we really made it look cool. And I was very proud of that. Another time the baby jumps to grab the refrigerator and open it. And that was just us timing it. Boom. And whenever I do something where a team is all together, 1, 2, 3, grab, boom, pull, because it's 3 people performing this together, not just one. As far as the physicality of Baby, it was me and Kevin, but the face done by John Kennedy had to also be spot on. So we have our leader, which is Kevin. He keeps us all on point, but it's our familiarity as a team that continued to make Baby better and better and better. And that's the truth about each character. Okay. I will tell you one more story, and that is the story of Sid, the dinosaur. He's kind of a background character. He was one of the construction workers, and Misha played that character on occasion. And one time, and I was operating him because we literally, guys, played all kinds of different background characters when we weren't in the scene. We were an ensemble, just like theater. This is what made this so fun. And Dinosaurs was Just to show you what a rock star it is, Misha got silent one time when I was working with him, and he told me just to keep radio silent. So you can see I can talk. And then he got really silent, and I got really worried. Forgive me, excuse me. He got really silent, and I got very concerned. And Misha said, I need to sit down and somebody needs to remove my head. And when they removed the head of the dinosaur, buckets of water just came out, just tons of water. And Misha said, I just passed a kidney stone, while doing the show. Yeah, yikes, right? Wow. There was a time when Robbie Sinclair had 104 fever, Leaf Tilden, and he threw up in the head. That's not cool. Mechanics hate you when you do that. But he just felt the need to keep going. And that's what I'm talking about, these super performers. They really are the masters of the universe as far as strength, ability, and talent. It's not easy to do this over and over and over again. And we had regular days for the most part, but sometimes we had to, especially in that first time we went over, and it was a challenge, Richard. It was a real challenge. So I think my favorite episode is that. I also like when food goes bad, or no, endangered species, because endangered species is such it's a position. It takes a stand on something, and it won a lot of awards. And then we also got a lot of flack for doing that one. But I love that show too. It's about the little graptolites that are the last on Earth. So I like that one too. It says, how long did it take? So the average episodes, finally, we got down to 5 days, 5 to 7 days. If it was extra convoluted, like the finale, that took over 2 times, but we got it to where we were pretty tight. So, but that takes time in any performance. You can ask anybody. They probably are, what is it? SVU. They've been doing it for 21 years. They're probably like, we got that, it's in the bones. Your body just makes it happen. Like that lead character. I love her for that. So that's what I think. Other than Baby Sinclair, did you have a favorite character? Yes. Other than Baby Sinclair, my favorite character was that I just absolutely over and over and over fell in love with was Howard Hand Up Me. Or the sequence with Timmy. We're gonna need another Timmy. I love those little puppet character guys. I love that a lot. Sure. Let's see. The show found a way to hit on some very serious issues in a very interesting way. Yes. Was there ever a topic you felt they shouldn't have touched on or hit in the wrong way? Not really. In fact, the one that I really like is I can't remember the title. I'm not good with titles, guys, so forgive me. But the one where I remember the title. What sexual harassment? What sexual harassment? What sexual harassment? You see, that one was brilliant, and it still holds up today, even more so today, I think. And I absolutely love it. I love that one. And I got to do marionetting on that, but I just thought it was brilliant. And at a time when this was something that I don't think they talked about it as much as they should have. And so now that we're all really talking about how this sexual harassment happens like crazy, now we have this show that pokes fun at it. I don't think they ever touched something that they shouldn't have. I really was behind them 100%. I really feel that you need to take a stand when it comes to doing a show. It's really great if you take a position. I said this the other day. It's like Miyagi says, you walk on the right, safe. You walk on the left, safe. Walk down the middle, squish, in Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid. And it's very true. Trying to please everybody gets you nowhere. But you take a stand and you make a statement and you respect those who may have a different stance. But I always think that's better, and that's what dinosaurs strive to do, and they did it very well. So thank you for that question. Absolutely. Was there? Yeah. Hit on the wrong way. What were the challenges of working the puppets or working on the set? The show is still so fresh today, and you're absolutely correct. Very, very correct. It's still fresh today. I'm amazed how well it holds up. because I haven't watched it in a while, and it's so great to see it on Disney Plus. And I thank them a million times. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you that it's there. But it's a great show. I'm so proud of it. And I've already forgotten the last part of your question. Oh, yes. Yes. So I told you about the tails. And anytime there were, okay, so one of the challenges is we did the switch step. Is it switch step birth? No. Yes, where the green baby and the pink baby, you've got two babies, and they talk about cutting the baby in half. It's pretty scary. That show, I was underneath the floor performing baby, and Steve Whitmire, who plays Robbie in the show, had been also hand selected by Jim Henson to play Kermit the Frog. And it was on that day that the Kermits were sent down under the floor so Steve could try them on. They had the team of Henson puppet makers had fit them to Steve because Jim had handpicked Steve. Should anything happen to him, or when he finally went to collect his wings, he wanted Steve Whitmire to be Kermit. It's really a cool thing, but it was really a sad thing, a melancholy thing. And I happened to be under the floor with Steve as we were having a small break. Sometimes you could take a break and you could get out and have a coffee or maybe something to eat, but there were other times when you had to stay under the floor. You actually sort of had to camp there as they set camera or they shifted a shot. Maybe they were just going to do something quick, so they didn't want you to, that you could take your arms out of the puppets, which could get very tired. But also they just wanted you to stand down. You stay right where you are. Don't go get a coffee. Don't go to the bathroom. Don't do nothing. This was one of those times. And so I just need to stretch a little. Thank you, Richard. So Richard, they were sitting down there, and that's when Jane Gutnick, one of the greatest puppet people. There's so many. Jane had a great team. Okay, they were great. You know, if you get to go watch a YouTube channel called The Beretta Brothers. The Beretta Brothers on YouTube. You should check them out because they did a series of dinosaur shows where they interviewed all the different technicians and builders and costume makers and handlers, because each of the super performers had a handler because you needed to. Rough work, right? And puppeteers and everything. You really enjoy it. The directors were on there. We had a reunion. It was really cool. So you can go and see those on the Beretta Brothers YouTube channel. And I think you really should check them out if you want. The Beretta Brothers. Just Google that and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, So a lot of work. And there we were under the floor waiting. And Jane sent Kermit down, about 3 or 4 of them, and I was silent. I really didn't say anything. I know that's hard to believe, guys. I get it, but they were silent, and Steve calmly tried on the Kermits, and I said, "What's that feel like?" And Steve thought for a moment, and he said, "It's like trying on someone else's underwear." And that's like, whoa. I mean, you get the visual, right? Wow. Even though he was endorsed by Jim himself, ping, you're the next successor. It was a very, very interesting moment, and one I'll never forget. And then he let me try it on, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah," it's not my character. It's not my character. And, nowadays everybody is playing Kermit the Frog, so it's a little different, but getting that frog after Jim. Yeah. And Steve did a great job and does a great job. And I'm sorry he's no longer Kermit the Frog. It breaks my heart because Jim really wanted it to be Steve. And Steve is Kermit the Frog as far as I'm concerned. But there's so many now, so many different Kermits that are built. And, Jim's hands were not in those early Kermits, but with Steve, they were. So yeah, I think that was a really interesting thing. And then You've got to put those back up to Jade, say yes or no if they fit. And then you got to get back into baby, get back in the jam, okay. And back into the character. So, wow, it just says a lot for the performers on there. We also didn't do it like animation, where the voices are recorded first and we are confined by the voices. You don't do that with puppets if you're smart. You let the puppets do it, because you never know. Crazy people who spend most of their time under a floor or in a suit, magic can happen. So if they're confined to a track of voices where they're just reading, looking at a picture of us, it doesn't work the same. And Stuart Pinkin, who did the voice of Earl, would often come down and sit and watch and see how we worked, so that he could give the best performance he did. And Sally Struthers did the same thing. She did the same thing. She came down. We didn't get to see a lot of the people much, but those two people did. The young man who did Robbie, he came down often. But a lot of times the voices would come down because they wanted to feel that essence, that experience of what it took to do the show. Is very interesting. It was, I got to tell you, I had worked so hard to have a hit show, worked on a hit show, worked on so many pilots that were supposed to be hit shows. And then all of a sudden I'm on a hit show. Yay. It was, I never wanted to leave. I put in the most hours, actually, because the other performers would get tired and they would say, I wasn't suit performer. I was always puppeteer. But there were people, sometimes you would work eyes for somebody. They'd be doing the whole character, but there was a little separate box so that you could do the eyes, so that the puppeteer didn't have to worry about the eyes. Someone else would worry about the eyes. And they were constantly seeing it. So they'd say, don't make that look there. Do this a little subtle, that you're doing too much, whatever. And it was great. It was great. It was great. It was great. So it was such a wonderful thing to be. I hope I answered that question, and I hope that helps you. And you can ask it again next Friday, and I'll elaborate anymore. There's so much material that I can share with you on dinosaurs. And do you have a favorite dinosaur story? Don't tell me now. Email it to me, and you could get some bling. You could get some dinosaur bling. Happy Easter, Bonnie. Happy Easter, Stephanie Fix. Thank you. Joseph says he mixed the beginning. Were you able to schedule it? Yes, I got it. All your fault. I got it on March 30th. I got my first one, Moderna, and I'm dancing. I was wiggling too much, Joseph. My husband got it on the 25th, and I got it on the 30th. And I wasn't supposed to get it I wasn't supposed to get it till the 1st. But you, Joseph, told me to look early, and I benefited big time, really big time. Because now, yesterday on the 1st, they said, don't be surprised if you can't get a vaccination. And I was like, Joseph gave me the secret. So thank you very much. I'm so happy. I still have the Band-Aid on my arm, Joseph. Just heard your answer. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I don't mind answering you again, Joseph, because you're a rock star when it comes to this. In fact, I paid it forward because of you. I called and texted any person I could think of in my neighborhood that was under 50 and said, go there now. If I could think of people, because everybody's a kid to me, so everybody's super young. So I didn't, you kind of say, I might offend you because I think you're over 50, but I'm sorry, I don't guess age well. But I didn't even do that apology stuff, Joseph. I just told them. And some people were like, oh, because I've got a really wonderful neighbor. She's across the street. And she was one of those people who was just champing at the bit to get the vaccine. So I told her where, I told her how, and do it now. I did that for my client as well, who lives in San Jose, and he actually got his yesterday, and that is wonderful. Because California is telling us, Joseph, that there may not be enough vaccine to go around right now, so we may have to be patient. But I don't have to be patient because I already got it because of you. So thank you. I'm really, really happy. Really, really, really happy. Happy Easter, Shelby. Tim Gillette, good Friday morning to you, Tim Gillette. And guys, let me just make this announcement to you that are still here. I'm going to be having Tim Gillette on as a guest. He has trained me on how to bring a guest onto this platform. So I'm going to start the new thing I'm adding. Remember I told you when you are doing something, you don't change everything. You add things in like ingredients. So I'm going to start to carefully bring in people to speak to you. And yes, Miss Shelby, one of them I'm hoping will be Bruce Lanoyle, but I'll have others so you can actually kind of ask him those questions too. And we'll start doing that on the AMAs. So we're going to start putting them in. The very first one may not be perfect, but we're going to do the best we can. And I hope it'll be enjoyable for you all as I start to do this, because many of you have asked if I would be willing to do this. And in the beginning, I wasn't, because I just wanted to learn this platform. And as Tim Gillette says, and he is my blog, video, live broadcasting expert. He's the person that helped me get to what you see me doing today. And if you saw my very first broadcast, which was a few years ago, where I didn't even know how to turn the phone, he is responsible for helping me figure that out as well. He's amazing, and he's got a great series of video presentations where people come together. Happens once a month usually, and or twice a month maybe, but at least once a month, where he brings people together and we tell you how you can make your broadcasting easier, or your blogging easier, or your podcasting easier and simple, and then how to market simple and easy. In fact, simple, easy marketing. Woo! So I'll bring him on, and he can kind of explain to you exactly how it works and how you do it, and how you just do a little bit at a time. You don't try to eat that whole frog, as I've said before. You just take little bitty bites, and then you get your momentum and you feel better. And look at me now. I even know how to change cameras. What? And I never thought that was going to happen, guys. I have no problem being on camera, and I have no problem talking. But all this technical stuff, I was really nervous and scared. Tim worked with me, and then my husband listened and realized that if he could make it as simple and easy, and that is kind of which is sort of tattooed across Tim Gillette's chest, is simple and easy. Simple and easy, okay? So he wants you to be able to make it as simple and easy as possible, no matter what it is you want to do. And that covers a lot when it comes to this social media platform, which is important to me as an artist, but I want to have time to do my art as well. And Tim Gillette is the person that helped me do that. And my husband and I are so eternally grateful. I'm especially grateful because I never could do what I've done here, where I'm showing you stuff, if it hadn't been for the training I've gotten from Tim Gillette. So I'm going to bring him on here as soon as I've got to get with him. And, he's very busy too. He has a great podcast, and he's doing these presentations because he's out there in the world helping people to understand the benefit of getting on social media and doing something. Doesn't mean you have to do live. Okay. All I'm doing is live right now, but I eventually want to post some videos, and he's helping me with that, and then there's people in our mastermind, which is where people come together, and we come from different walks of life, a lot like my Patreon page, and we help each other. So he's got a couple people in there that are just, knocking it out of the park, and I can ask them questions. Okay. So yeah, so I'll bring him on, and it'll be fun. And maybe I'll bring on one of those guys. You can start to get excited because maybe you haven't thought to do this, but you'd like to. Wouldn't that be nice? Would that be fun? That would be fun. So thank you, Tim Gillette, for all you do. Angie, your work is offering. You're just waiting on the date. Well, they make it easy for you, eh, Angie? How lovely is that? Joseph, I had my second dose Palm Sunday, and other than that, a sore arm. I didn't have any side effects. Yeah, my arm is a little bit sore, and then I had a little bit of a buzzing vibe, but I'm better now. They say the second one could be a little challenging, but I understand if I drink water and I take a little airborne / best defense a couple days before, that it'll make it better. So I'm going to put my husband and I on that regime. I really appreciate that advice. Odd question. The Mickey on the shelf behind you, is his hair bent or is it just me? It is, let me show you what it is. Told you it was odd. Well, it's Robo Mickey. Okay. That is Robo Mickey Mouse. Fell in love with this Mickey Mouse some years ago. And He's Robo Mickey. So his ear is like this, tilted back, but he's sideways. So it kind of looks different, as you can see, my Robo Mickey Mouse. But let me go back here. Isn't it cute? Now both of them are up. See? His head turns. He's all robot Mickey. He is super cool. He's really cute. I really like him. I'm not usually a Mickey Mouse fan, but this one, I'm a robot nut, so this one was really cute. Next to Totoro, Totoro, Totoro. Yeah. My husband always said that people like you, David, will look behind and see what's up on that shelf. So a lot of people ask about my mermaid tail. So there you go. Now his ears are better. See? I'll stand another way. Yay! I tilt one back and front because live he looks really cute, but I'll do the both up for you guys. I don't mind doing that. Happy Easter, Michael. Congratulations on the vaccine. Both daughters are healthcare. My sweetheart and I, says Connie Lane, have received the vaccines. I'm telling you, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. It means that we're going to start to get together soon if we keep it up. How cool is this? I'm arriving at some places that are going to be unbelievable. I'm going to Marceline. And I want to go to Marceline. I've never been to Marceline. I've never been to Walt Disney's hometown. And I'm going to be with a couple of the best artists in the world. Mindy, who did the book on Tinkerbell and did the book on Ink and Paint. And she's just an amazing author and creator. And then Joseph Yakovetic, who's an amazing illustrator and painter. Maybe I should send my portrait to Joseph and get his opinion. He's been very busy, actually, in Florida. But it's going to be a great event where everybody can come together. It's called Toon Fest. And I did a little talk on it and posted it in YouTube. So you can go and learn a little bit about it. And I will be posting more about Toon Fest as we get closer to the date. Toon Fest was supposed to happen last year. We know what happened. And now it's going to be this year. And they're just kind of holding steady because they want to make sure we are doing what we're doing. But boy, doesn't it look, Connie, like we are. Yes! Hi, Angie. No pink mac and cheese for me. You had to win the box, and no thank you. See, it's just we're back to the Peeps and Pepsi. You got to win it too. Yeah, and I think that's a great way for these companies to see, is it really something that you want? Rather than, put that out on the shelf and it ends up being landfill later. You don't want that to happen, so good for them. Cauliflower was the veggie they hinted at. Both companies were sharing stuff on their social media days beforehand. That sounds fun. I don't know. Cauliflowers? I might do cauliflower soda. I like cauliflower. I know I wouldn't be doing the Peeps, but I might do the cauliflower. Kind of fun. There's a panko-crusted pickle. Oh, my goodness. That made me cough, Joseph. Panko coated. That actually kind of sounds yummy, but the pickles are so salty. See, when you get older, you're all worried about the salt and the sugar, and you're like, everything in moderation, but, you got to take care of yourself. Hot dog, corn dog with peanut butter dip in downtown Disney if you really want to try something crazy. The hot dog and the peanut butter sounds interesting. I might just do that one. That sounds interesting. Thank you, Joseph. I'm curious now. I haven't had a hot dog in forever, and I love peanut butter, so, who knows? That could be interesting. Valerie Mark, I feel like sweet potato Peep may taste okay. It could be a Thanksgiving flavor. Hey, I like that. I might have a sweet potato Peep if it's not too sweet potato Peep. But that's a cute idea. And make it be orange. That pastel orange. Pastel orange is such a pretty color. That would be really nice with the yellow, the blue, and the, yeah, right? And the pink. Ooh, that's a great idea, Valerie. I like it. I love sweet potato. Just heard that Disney might be removing People Mover at both parks, but nothing final. Boy, I hope not. The People Mover is such a great little attraction. I'm really sorry they took it out of Disneyland, because after a very hard day, you could just drive or float around the whole park with your friends and talk. And maybe you went and visited the Atom for a little bit, or raced around, or I don't know. I just love the People Mover. I'm sorry. I hope they don't, Michael. I really hope they don't. You're showing your witchy side. Yeah, I am. You're right. Of course. The feeling you get from a paint. Yes, Bob. I love the feeling, but what is your imagination of you as a painter? Okay. I think of them in a smock. I have a smock, a beret. I have a beret, but I don't wear the beret. And you spend a lot of time doing this, don't you? Oh. I didn't do that with my little painting, but I want to do something where I'm really moving, because I think of painters going in and painting and coming back and looking, and going in and painting and coming back and looking. And I like the physicality of it, the dance, if you will. And so I'm very curious to see what that's like. May work, may not work. Many of the teachers that I've seen are sitting in a chair and they're leaning in and they're leaning back, you know. One of the teachers who I love very much, who tends to do a more tighter method, he doesn't do the big grandiose stuff, said that he really works on forcing himself to only do like at the most maybe 6 to 8 hours a day, because your body can get tired and you not realize it because you're in the zone. And so he says he doesn't push too hard. He walks away, because the freshness of coming in the next day and seeing what he's done helps him to keep the painting fresh. So I'm looking forward to all of that. I really love the steps that I went through. I just wish that the instructor had been more a part of it for a lot of the beginners who were very sad that she wasn't. And they didn't stay in the class. We had 30 online, and then it went down to about 6. Yeah, and that was like after lesson 2. So I didn't think that was very good odds, personally. Maybe she didn't mind. The class was non-refundable, but you don't want people to feel like you only want them for the money, not to help them move forward, right? Even if you really believe that, you got to pretend you don't. I mean, seriously, you do. There's so many people out there that you can take from and pay the money, that you want someone who gives a hang, right? I mean, don't you? I would. Money doesn't grow on trees for me. Maybe Elon Musk wouldn't care, but I'm just saying, I think he would care. I think everyone would care. They want to think you're vested in them and doing it. And I didn't feel that from her. Melissa Eiler says, my mom tried to teach me how to crochet. She was left-handed and tried to get me to mirror her, but I ended up doing it left-handed. Well, there you go, Miss Ambidextrous. She would get frustrated. I don't crochet anymore, but I never learned how to do it right-handed. You did it left-handed, though. Rock star. What would be cool is if we taught you right-handed, and you would go ah-cha-cha-cha, 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 flip, cha-cha-cha, flip, cha-cha-cha. Look at Melissa Eiler go. Cha-cha-cha, left-handed, cha-cha-cha, right-handed. I think that's pretty good. I am ambidextrous as well in my sculpting. So I sculpt a little with this hand. I sculpt a little with that hand. One of the nice things about being ambidextrous in sculpting is you don't have to force your right hand to do the side that you're not familiar with. You just switch to the left. So you might think about that. Be a fun party trick, Melissa. Get back into crocheting so you can flip it. Flip it. Flip it. Oh, and it could make some really cool designs because of the way crochet works. Ooh, girl, you're onto something. There's that Imagineering brain mine going again. There it does, doing it again. Okay. Can tell a whole story. Yes, indeed. Yes. And it can. And here's the thing about the art that you're pointing out, Bob, is that I want you to look at the piece and feel the story that I'm telling without me telling the story. Okay? Not a lot of writing below it. This is the emotion of blah, blah, blah. Just create that feeling and knowing what that painting is saying, I think is so great. And you can remember, if you are someone who goes to a museum, certain paintings really move you. You can't stop going and look at them. There's one that Rembrandt did called The Night Watch, I think it's called. I just can't stop looking at it. I just love it. And when I went and saw it, I just loved it. And Michelangelo's The Creation is something I just find really beautiful. And the sculpture of the Pieta, which I mentioned before, the Pieta I could stare at forever, because he, in the sculpture, tells you how Mary is feeling about the death of her son, Jesus. And it is beautiful. And whether, I don't know what your religious beliefs are, and it's all up in you, but you will not, I defy you not to be affected by this piece, because it's just so great. It's what makes Michelangelo. If I could ever get a little piece of that for myself, I would be happy. So I love it. I love his work. It's just really cool. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Bob. Yeah, says my physical therapist told me she loves how different my brain works. I do too, actually. I love how different your brain works. Dan DeMeyer, happy Easter. I miss you too. I hope you are feeling a little bit better. I know you've had a few challenges in your life, and I hope you feel better. And you're spending time next to that lovely pool that you have and that Groot, because you deserve it. You stare at a painting and can tell a story from it. Once upon a time to the end. Some. Okay, there are some I don't get. Okay, so Bob, I'm going to tell you, Jackson Pollock. Sorry, I don't get it. I really imagine him with a paintbrush going, and somebody said, you can market that. And there are people who love Pollock. Please explain to me something that doesn't look like he sneezed all over it. But that's not, it's not dissing him. It just shows you my brain looks like he sneezed. It does not relate. It does not compute to me. I see nothing but someone sneezing. Okay. It's over my head and you can't learn everything. Okay. And, well, I guess you could, but honestly, you're not going to love every painting. I just can't imagine you're going to love every painting in the world. There are some that just don't read to you. And Pollock, I love the story of Pollock. I love learning about him as an artist, but I still don't get him at all. Yeah, it's a good thing he's not alive. But when I get to heaven and I get my wings, he's probably going to have a few things to teach me. Young lady, what you said about my paintings. Love Sigmund. Yes, you guys all love that so much. You're so cute. Did Croft has a podcast every Sunday? Oh, Croft does? Okay. Yes. Okay. Sid has a podcast. Well, that's cool. See, if Sid can do it and I can do it, so can you if you want to. Sid is a great guy. Sid and Marty Croft. I love them. Gave me my break. So thank you very much. Terry, did you or your husband have any issues with the first vaccine? Yeah, I had Angie, just a little sore arm. And then 2 days later, I had this buzzing from the Moderna. It felt like my whole body was like going like this. It's very strange. And unfortunately, it was in the middle of the night, so I stayed up, watched something. I can't remember what I watched, but wasn't anything lethal and scary. I have a family, though, that did the Johnson & Johnson and had some pretty big reactions to it. So I kind of like the idea of the 2-shot method over the 1-shot method, even though 1 shot means 1 shot and you're done. I'm really glad I'm doing the 2-shot method. The horseshoe. Yes, Deanna, your horseshoe is over here, hanging above my window seat. And I love it. The horseshoe is beautiful. She sent me it, actually, and it's gorgeous. And it's lucky, too. It's very lucky. I sit under it when I want lucky thoughts to go into my head. So thank you. Oh, Deanna, she loves deep fried pickles. I love pickles too, but they can't be that big one because that's too much salt. I have to watch my salt and my husband's salt. So we have to be careful. The best use of Peeps to roast them over a campfire like you would marshmallows. Sugar caramelizes and makes them better. Does it make them crunchy? So what do you have? What would you call a s'more made of Peeps? s'mores, peeps, s'mores. I don't know. What would you call a s'more made with peeps? I think that's very interesting. Okay, now I may have to get some peeps. Try it. Deanna's laughing. She liked that one. She liked that one, Richard. I've been doing diamond painting for a few years now. Who knew I find something I could finish? Paint by numbers with tiny plastic beads. Oh my Lord, that thing is crazy, guys. Those diamond paintings, David, are wild, but they really are pretty when they're done, huh? You are someone that probably likes to do that stuff. But how cool. You got to post some, David. Post some here. And then, tag me on a couple because I love looking at them. I've got a couple. I just haven't done them yet. Show weird. My husband sneezed when you were talking about falling sneezing. It's contagious. Oh, that's funny, Cheryl. Tell him Gesundheit. Bless you. And it's probably his way of agreeing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And Bonnie says, hope you and everyone have a wonderful weekend. And with that, I do too. I love you guys. I want to thank you so much I know this Ask Me Anything was more of a conversation, but feel free that when I come on every Friday, you can ask me questions. Leo always gives me a few questions of current events and stuff, but I decided since Easter was coming, we would just have a celebratory chat. With so many people doing wild and crazy things on TikTok, the latest was pumping their lips up with some sort of weird air thing. Don't do that, guys. That's very scary. It's so great to be with people who are like-minded, who are forward-thinking, and who are as joyful as all of you have been and for me today. So I love you guys a bunch. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this discussion today. Have a happy Good Friday and have a happy Easter. And I love you. I'll see you soon. Take care. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel so much better. And we will see you soon. Thank you, Melissa. You've already done that. Thank you, Jennifer. You've already